Welcome back, Brooklyn Nets fans. What a win. This was one of the best wins of the year. Top 3 win. Just given all the circumstances, of course, with Kyrie, the news that came out yesterday, him not playing. The Nets broadcast actually went over it. They were without 127 million in payroll tonight, I'm pretty sure. So they had a lot of guys out. Of course, Kevin, Kyrie, TJ, Seth, somebody else I feel like I'm forgetting. And they pulled off this win. It wasn't just a win where they were battling the entire game and pulled through at the end. No, it was the complete opposite. I mean, the Nets were pretty awful the first quarter, to put it nicely. They were outscored 44-25 in the first quarter, 23-point deficit at one point, and they come back and win on the back of Cam Thomas and, of course, Edmund Sumner as well. Sumner, a career high, 29 points. I think it's a career high. Cam Thomas, for sure, a career high, 44 points off the bench in 29 minutes, 16 of 23 for Cam Thomas, and just unbelievable game here. In the second quarter of this game, I'm just sitting there just disinterested, kind of scrolling on my phone, kicked back, and I was like, this really sucks. We're going to lose Kyrie now, and this team is going to be pitiful to watch, and, who knows what's going to happen with KD after that. But, we kind of needed this as Nets fans. We kind of needed this comeback as a little therapy session, if you will. So, I don't feel as bad now as I did before the game. But of course, big picture wise, things are not great with the Nets right now. But getting this win and once again, keeping your record at a respectable level without Kevin Durant out, without Kevin Durant playing, it's huge. I mean, they're 32-20 now. I think they're still in front of Cleveland in the standings. I think that's the 4 seed still. So yeah, I mean, look, things could have been a lot worse, and this for sure looked like an L, for sure. But in the second half, the Nets had 37 in the third and 33 in the fourth. The Wizards only scored 26 in the third and only 24 in the fourth. So a big second half comeback. Also have to give credit to Jacques Vaughn. I didn't think he had an excellent game, but he did very well for what he had. I mean, the Nets had 8 active guys. I think they came into this game with 9 guys. Seth Curry left the game, and also Markieff Morris left the game, so they might have been down to 7, I forget. But yeah, they had nobody left on the bench. So Markieff and Seth, they left the game mid-game, and you had some guys in foul trouble. I mean, we'll get to that. I mean, man, Day'Ron Sharpe, he must have had 5 fouls in 6 minutes. I'm looking at the numbers. He played 9 minutes and had 5 fouls and was a minus 13. It was just terrible. I mean, Day'Ron Sharpe, you could see he has some potential, but you cannot play in the NBA if you're going to foul 5 times in 9 minutes. I'm sorry. And some of those fouls are so bad, away from the basket, just dumb fouls that you don't need. So that was bad to see. And speaking of not being able to play in the NBA, Markieff Morris looks terrible. But once again, that's Kevin Durant's guy. He got him here, so I think he'll be on this roster unless they make some type of trade. We'll see what happens in the coming days. I think the deadline's February 9th or maybe 7th? I don't know. I hope it's as soon as possible. I just want to get past this, honestly. There must have been, I think the broadcast said 9 lead changes in the final, fourth quarter. It was just a crazy game, back and forth, back and forth. You had, Cam Thomas made the big layups. You had Monte Morris for the Wizards making that big shot over Patty Mills. Then you had Patty Mills come back and answer with a long 2-pointer of his own. And then 39 seconds left, Cam Thomas makes that pull-up jumper, top of the key, right inside the 3-point line. I thought it was a terrible shot when he shot it. I'm like, what do you... Even that and the Patty Mills shot, they were low percentage, long 2-point shots. Cam was fading away. I was like, those are not good shots. And they went in. Cam, nothing but net. So Cam shut me up real quick. But Nets took a 1-point lead off of that. Then there was this big play. So there was the big play of Daniel Gafford with the goaltending. And I forgot to mention, Gafford was in the game because the Nets got Porzingis fouled out. That was big. Porzingis was in foul trouble in the first half. I think he had 4 fouls at halftime. He had 5 for a bit, and the Nets kept going at him. It was so smart. I don't know if Jacques Vaughn told him to do this or what, but Edmund Sumner, Cam Thomas, those guys specifically were going right after Porzingis, and they must have got 6 or 8 free points because Porzingis didn't want to foul anybody. And then there was the play towards the end, I would say about 5, maybe 4 minutes left. Porzingis picks up his 6th foul as Edmund Sumner, hard drive on the baseline, kind of gets hip-checked by Porzingis, and he fouls out. Almost got the and one. But speaking of and one, so this is what I was getting to here. So Daniel Gafford, There was a play where Cam Thomas, he was fouled by, what's the dude that looks like Joe Harris? Crispert? I forget his name. But yeah, the guy looks like Joe Harris on the Wizards. He fouled Cam Thomas, and Gafford goaltended. But it was one of the weirdest goaltends you'll see, because of course the big question with goaltends is, well, was it at the apex or was it on the way down? Of course, if it's on its way down, it's a goaltend. But this Cam Thomas one was interesting because not only did it matter about was it coming down, the question was it going to reach the rim? Because when he was fouled by Kispert, I think his name is, Cam did like an underhand type layup. It wasn't even a natural layup. It was just he got bumped and he knew the whistle was coming, so he threw it up. And he got it close enough to the rim where Gafford kind of came down with it, and the refs actually called a goaltend, so that put the Nets up by 2. And then Cam Thomas right after that on the defensive end, up by 2, 10 seconds left in the game. He made a very bad mental error. He had a knee-to-knee contact with Monte Morris, and that sent Morris to the line. But Mr. Whammy came in clutch. When the Nets were up to Monte Morris at the line, if he makes both, the game is either going to overtime or gives the Nets a few seconds to come down and win the game. But Monte Morris misses both, and I think he was trying to make the second one, I'm pretty sure. I mean, either that or he missed it very slightly on purpose. I don't know, but he missed both of them, and the ball rolled around. It looked like a Wizards player had it, but when he was going up for it, it like fell out of his hands. Cam Thomas ends up with it, outlet to Sumner. He dunks the ball at the buzzer. Didn't count, but still, just an awesome win. It's like one of my favorite wins of the year, given the circumstances. And these are the games without Kyrie and KD. You have to win these, you know? I mean, not have to, but these are the ones on the schedule. You see Washington Wizards, yeah, they won their past 6 games up until last night. I think RJ said on the broadcast that the Wizards blew a 20-point lead last night too, so that, have that in back-to-back games is probably demoralizing, and I'm sure when the Nets were making that comeback, that was definitely in the back of their minds. Also, I got to give a shout out to Patty Mills. Like, he was one of the guys who made this comeback possible. There was a time, I think in the third quarter it was, where Patty made 1 3, and then he came back and transition, made a 3 right after that, and cut it to like a 6-point game. And we have not cut it to 6 like the entire game. So that kind of like sparked the comeback in a way. All right, let's go through the overall performances quickly. Royce O'Neal was 4 of 6, 10 points. 4 assists, had 4 blocks. Wow, I did not even recognize that. But yeah, Royce O'Neal, I think he had a pretty good game for the most part. He might have done one stupid thing, I forget what it was, but he had a good game. Joe Harris did not play much for only having like 8 guys left on the bench. Joe Harris only 17 minutes, 2 points, was 1 of 5. 0 of 4 from 3. Yeah, not the best Joe Harris game. His 3-pointers were short tonight. And he had a terrible turnover. A terrible turnover. Like he was short on one of his threes, I think. He got his own rebound, which was great. And then he tried to make a pass, and he hit a guy in the head, and it was turned over. Just stupid. This was it. All right, so now it just refreshed my memory. Royce O'Neal. This was the stupid play I was talking about that I just forgot. Royce O'Neal had a 4-on-2 fast break. It was basically a 4-on-1, but I think Kispert, I want to make sure you're getting his name right. Kispert? Yeah, Kispert. He was getting back in transition behind Royce. Royce tried to make a pass, and Kispert got in the way, and I think he stole it. Now that I'm thinking about it, it might not have been Kispert, but whatever. It's besides the point. Yeah, Royce O'Neal, it's a 4-on-2, 4-on-1 break. You can't throw a freaking turnover. That was just stupid. So you have to get at least a shot. I'm not saying you have to score in a 4-on-2, but at least have to get a clean look. And he turned the ball over, so I hated seeing that from Royce. But besides that, a pretty good game for him. And he had a lot of possessions guarding Porzingis, too. I think him and Claxton, although Porzingis tore us apart. I mean, he, especially in the first quarter, he started out the game on fire. I think he started out 5 of 5 or 6 of 6. 38 points for Porzingis on 20 shots. He did have 12 free throws. That helps. But, yeah, he was destroying us for a while in this game. But Royce O'Neal did okay. For the size differential, I think Royce is 6'4", 6'5". To, guard a guy like Porzingis the way he did, I thought it wasn't too bad. He forced him into a jump ball at one point and, did some nice things. So that was good to see. Claxton, he played 37 minutes. He was 4 of 8, 15 points, a +8, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. Claxton continues to get 4, 5, 6 assists every game. It's helping out a lot. 3 blocks. He came so close to blocking Gafford at the end, and Gafford actually, converted that dunk, but he was so close to getting that block. You could see on the Yes Mo slow motion replay, he got his fingertips on it, but Gafford was able to convert that finish. Edmund Sumner, 39 minutes, 9 of 19, 2 of 9 from 3. A lot of open threes in the corner that were not falling for Sumner. If Sumner made his threes in this game, they would not have been down 23. They would have been more in this game, but he was not getting those shots from downtown in the first half to fall. He made a couple in the second half. That was good to see. 9 of 10 at the line for Sumner, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, only 2 turnovers. Did have 5 fouls. So did Royce O'Neal, as I mentioned. So did Day'Ron Sharpe, and Utah had 4 fouls as well. But Edmond Sumner, 29 points. It may have been a career high. I forget what the broadcast said. I think it was a season high at least. I think a season high before this was something in 24, 25 areas. So either a career or season high for Edmond Sumner. Seth Curry played 20 minutes. He left this game, I think, in the third quarter. I'm pretty sure it was either the second or third quarter, and it looked like a groin injury. I'm not positive. I'm pretty sure the Nets tweeted out what the injury was. They didn't say groin. It was something like abdominal. I don't know. But sucks to see that because, of course, the Nets don't have many bodies right now as it is, and you don't want to lose somebody else. But 2 steals for Seth Curry, 9 points, 3 of 4 from downtown, so that was good to see. But hopefully he does not miss too much time. Markieff Morris, I talked about, not much good going on there. Utah played a good amount, 25 minutes, 1 of 3, 1 of 2 from downtown, made a big 3 in the corner to cut it to like a 4-point game. Actually, I think it was a 2-point game at that point. So Utah did his thing. He made, some nice plays defensively. I think he had a big steal at one point, or he had like a transition pass to Cam Thomas that led to the dunk, the big Cam Thomas dunk. He never dunks, by the way, so that was kind of funny. But some nice plays there for Mr. Utah. Patty Mills was 5 of 14, 13 points. So, 5 of 14 is not great for Patty Mills, but you'll take the 13 points. He was 1 of 1 on the free throw line. That came off the technical by Porzingis, I think it was. Patty was 2 of 5 from 3. And Cam Thomas was even 4 of 5 from 3. Cam Thomas has been a much better three-point shooter this year as compared to last year. And I think we've been saying this as Nets fans, is that if Cam Thomas can knock down his catch-and-shoot three-pointers, he'll be in the lineup more. I mean, defensively, Cam Thomas sometimes has mental lapses, and it's not great. But offensively, that kid can play. I think we all know that. He is still very young, still developing, and he has shown a lot of, bright signs, or whatever you want to say, when he's in these type of games where, I meant to say good signs. He showed a lot of good signs in these games where, the stars are out. Like that game in Indiana this year where the Nets rested, half their team, and they were not supposed to win that game. That was a nice Cam Thomas game. So Cam Thomas in these games where the Nets, want him to step up and make some stuff happen offensively, he does it. So it's been good to see. Awesome to see a 44-point game from somebody not named Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving. All right, so before we get off here, of course, I'm going to speak about the Kyrie stuff. Of course, I made a video about it 24 hours ago, maybe a bit over that. So nothing that new about Kyrie, but there's so many conflicting reports about it. It's kind of ridiculous, but you have some people saying it's not about the contract, it's the disrespect, and Kyrie won't sign here regardless. And there's some people saying, oh, it's about the money, and some people say, oh, it's about the leverage. I don't know what to believe. I really don't. Woj did tweet out that the Nets are pretty much in talks here with the Clippers. I bookmarked that tweet, so I'll pull it up in a second here. The Nets are proceeding in talks as though they are determined to find a deal for Irving ahead of Thursday's deadline, sources said, and that was replying to a tweet saying that the Clippers have emerged in the pursuit of Kyrie Irving, joining the Lakers, Mavericks, Suns, and others. So, yeah, I mean, the Kyrie Irving return is going to be interesting. I don't know what they're going to get. I have no idea, but it is looking like a reality that Kyrie may be gone, which it sucks. I mean, as I said, he's my favorite player. It would be terrible, but, if you get good value for him and he doesn't want to be here regardless, then it is better than having him walk for nothing in the offseason. I personally would rather just play it out and, have Kyrie finish out the year as a Net and see what happens. And even in the event that, Kyrie wants to go to the Lakers don't have the cap space. They would probably have to do a sign and trade for Kyrie. So you're still going to get something for Kyrie regardless, even if you can get to the offseason. So in my opinion, it's worth keeping Kyrie, but if they want to trade him now and don't think they can fix this, then, so be it. But I'm still not happy with ownership about kind of botching this entire situation. And I'm already in the process now of making a script about, typing up for a video of how the Nets botched the most talented big three of all time. And I got pretty far into that today. It was taking up a couple hours of my time. But, once this big three eventually breaks up, which, of course it will at some point, and hopefully it somehow ends in a championship, but it's not looking very likely right now. But, once that happens, I will definitely be working on that video, because that is like the Nets need like a 30 for 30. And I don't know if ESPN will do it, but I'll try my best to make some type of cinematic video about the Nets and how they kind of screwed up the entire big three opportunity with Harden, KD, and Kyrie. And of course, there was a lot of unluckiness and things that went into it. But anyway, ironically, the Nets are home versus the Clippers on Monday. So I wonder if Kyrie will show up there and be on the Clippers bench. We'll find out. But and then the last game before, I think the deadline's on Tuesday night, right? Tuesday night, February 7th. I'm going to look it up real quick. Sorry. But we do play the Suns on Tuesday night. And I'm pretty sure by that point, Devin Booker is going to be back. So, of course, Devin Booker just has to come back in time for the Nets game. It's actually February 9th, so I was wrong about that. So, the last game before the deadline is going to be a home game versus the Bulls. So, February 9th, 7:30 game. I'm pretty sure the trade deadlines are usually like 3 or 4 o'clock. So, by that game, the Nets will know, who's going to be on the roster and who's not. Is there still a chance Kyrie's in net on Thursday night? Maybe. I'm definitely leaving the door open. There's a chance, but I made this mistake last year. I mean, of course I got to a point where I knew Harden was gone, but for a lot of at this time last year, I was saying I don't think Harden's getting traded. I just don't see it happening until the offseason. And of course I was wrong. He got traded at the deadline last year. And ironically, this was the 1-year anniversary of James Harden requesting a trade, officially. So, that was pretty interesting to see on Twitter. But, yeah, it's how it is being a Nets fan. But if we do if we do trade with the Clippers, I am kind of curious what the return could be. You look at the Clippers roster right now and try and think, who would be a decent return right now for the Nets. I'm going to go through their roster quickly and just, try and spitball and think what could possibly happen here with the LA Clippers. Kawhi, I don't think that would ever happen. Paul George, it's possible. Paul George is 32. Kyrie's 30. I mean, maybe. I like Norman Powell. I've been a fan of his game for a while. We can get the other Morris brother. He's on a $16 million 2-year deal. I don't know who else is going to make sense here. I mean, I don't even know if Robert Covington's good anymore. I mean, he was good at one point. I feel like Zubac at center is not a bad idea, but the Nets definitely need size. I like Nick Batum, but he might be washed. I don't keep up with the Clippers. I have no idea, but it'll be interesting. But there are some names on this team that are interesting. You have John Wall, who I think has had an up and down season, so I don't know, but they have enough salary to, make a return for Kyrie. They have enough, pretty good players to possibly get a trade going here. Of course, a third team could be added, so we'll find out what happens there. It's going to be a very interesting trade deadline for Brooklyn. When is it never? It seems like it always is. But as I said, we have 3 more games up until that point. The Nets have now won 3 out of 4 without KD, and that's awesome. So, well, not overall. Of course, they've won 3 of their last 4. I'll clarify that. I think without KD, ever since KD's been out, so they started out 0-4, went to 2-4, went to 2-6, they went to 4-6, then they went to 4-7, and now they're 5-7. So 5-7 without KD. I mean, shit, I would have signed up for that. That's really not too bad. You'd rather be 7-5, but yeah, it's really not terrible. This is one of the few games this year where Kyrie or Durant were not the leading scorer. So Cam Thomas, I mean, actually a couple games ago, well, this was last week, the game against the Sixers on the road, Seth Curry led the team with 30. I think Kyrie had 28 that night. He was close. But yeah, so Cam Thomas, 44. Great to see. So yeah, I'll either talk to you guys once a move is made. I have no idea which direction this trade deadline will go, whether it completely goes around a Kyrie Irving trade or whether the Nets decide to keep Kyrie and, see what happens in the offseason and try to acquire talent to improve the team right now. And, I kind of hope that's the route they go, but, I don't trust them regardless. Sean Marks has definitely not earned our trust in a while. So, yeah, we'll find out what happens here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a fun win, and I'll talk to you guys next time.